I'm starting to think these people at Kia actually know what they're doing, and nothing has impressed me more than this all-new 2020 Kia Telluride. Now, when it comes to 7 and 8 passenger crossovers, there are a ton of vehicles out there. This is technically a midsize, even though it feels like a full size. And what's impressed me most about this is the price. So for less than $32,000, you can get a front-wheel drive, 8-passenger Telluride. That makes it the least expensive 6-cylinder crossover you could buy in America. And if you exclude the 4-cylinder Highlander, it's basically the least expensive or most affordable crossover you could buy for 7 or 8 passengers. The one we've been driving here is the SX all-wheel drive. So all in, fully loaded, every option you could imagine, $46,000. This is impressive. Everything about it, it's really hard to find some flaws in this vehicle. Oh, and did I mention the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty? Toyota doesn't have that. The Telluride's available in 4 trim levels, and they all have standard front-wheel drive and optional all-wheel drive. And they also have an 8-speed automatic transmission. That's pretty good. You may need to put it in sport mode, though, to really take full advantage when you have to do some hard accelerations. Just under 300 horsepower out of this 3.8-liter V6, and depending on the configuration, front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, you're going to get between 21 and 23, 24 miles to the gallon. That's right on par with the competition. But the real innovation, in my opinion, is not what's under the hood, but really all the design and tech that went into this. Of course, Kia chose Colorado and Telluride, Colorado to launch this all-new Telluride. Makes sense. And we actually turned some heads there, which is not easy to do. That's a place that's pretty affluent, but people had a feeling this might be a Range Rover or maybe a high-end GMC Denali, but no, this is an all-new Kia Telluride. So you have the signature grille, which is I call the Kia mustache. As you can see, we got it a little bit dirty. Took it a little bit off-road. You have 8 inches of ground clearance. That's not Raptor by any means, but that's pretty good for an SUV. Some of these may only have about 7.5. These headlights are kind of interesting. So on the SX model that we're driving today, you're going to have an amber ring around the light. That lets you know they're LED lights. On the lower trim levels, this will be white. Overall, they did a great job. And a lot of times when you see these vehicles as concept, you go, oh, that looks pretty cool, but they'll never build it. But this is probably about 90% of what the concept was. And that is a credit to the higher-ups at Kia for believing in this product, and I'm telling you, it's at the right place at the right time. As with any SUV or crossover, the cargo area is critical, and Kia has the most interior volume of any vehicle in its class, any midsize crossover. So think about that when you're shopping for your next crossover. The third row has a 60-40 split. The second row could be captain's chairs, or you could have bench seats. So that's how you get the 7 or 8 passenger. One thing I'd like to see Telluride have is standard power liftgate, but they only have it on the top 2 trim levels. That's okay, we can live with that. If that's the worst thing about this car, you're still way ahead of the game. One of the things that really surprised us about the Telluride is just how luxurious and upscale this interior is. As you can see, now this is not real wood, it's not real metal, but they've done such a good job with their materials. They have a proprietary fabrication process, and it looks brilliant in our opinion. So they did a really nice job. I like the way they've stretched everything out and just makes it look wider and just look more spacious. And after all, it is a very spacious vehicle. But I got to tell you, for Kia to put us on canyon roads like this, and some have been a lot more challenging than this, we thought, okay, they're either crazy or this car is really good. And the answer is both. No, but seriously, this car is good. I was surprised just how flat and planted it is on turns. For usually a vehicle this big, you're going to get a lot of body roll. Even the Stinger, which is a performance car by Kia standards, had a lot more body roll on similar roads. So whatever they did to tighten things up, good job, because I was expecting to be all over the place, and instead very planted, very quiet, very refined, very comfortable. Just, the head-up display is brilliant. The larger infotainment screen, so you have about an 8-inch screen on the lower models, and over 12 inches on the upgraded models, which we're driving today. The steering's okay, it's not terrific, but then again, what crossover in this segment is? But overall, very impressed. We also have the upgraded Harman Kardon sound system, which is brilliant as expected, but not necessary by any means. Like the steering wheel, the seating position. One complaint is the headrest. I wish they had a button on the side instead of underneath. It's very hard to get to, but chances are once you adjust it, you're pretty much going to be done. But overall, as you can see, we're going 80 miles an hour. Speed limit here is 55, and I'm not working hard to keep this on the road. It's very planted, very stable. Not a lot of road noise, and these roads are pretty rough out here in Colorado, but overall, a very impressive ride. Pretty good visibility. Lots of greenhouse opening, daylight opening. You got the panoramic sunroof, and just, all the windows. They've done a good job of not making these A-pillar and C-pillars too obstructive. Speaking of these A-pillars and the headliner, it's all Alcantara. I was talking to the lead product planner, and he said that was a big battle because, the accountants are always trying to, cut a penny here and save a nickel there, but I don't think they did a lot of that with this Telluride. They went all out. The Telluride is easily their flagship SUV, and I hate to say, it might even be their flagship vehicle. The K900 is kind of a forgotten vehicle in the lineup, and I think this is the vehicle that's going to really put them on that road to becoming more of a premium brand. At no time did we feel the Telluride was underpowered. Would we have liked a 3-liter twin turbo in here? Yes, and I think that's coming at some point. For now, this 3.8-liter gas direct injected V6 is just fine. It's more than acceptable. The 8-speed transmission has performed as expected. You can experience a little bit of a delay when we're in sport mode right now. I'm going to go into comfort mode, which is the default mode. And if you're just kind of cruising at, say, 60 miles an hour and you go to punch it, you can see a little bit of a delay. If you want to bypass that, go into sport mode. As you can see, it reacts, it responds a little bit faster. So you have to put it in sport mode every time if that's the kind of driving you want to do. But for normal everyday driving, it's fine. And because this is the all-wheel drive, you also have different terrain modes, which we really haven't had a chance to play with. One of the new features that's kind of slick is when you put your right or left turn signal on, a video screen of what is on that side comes up. I love it. I really think this is great technology. And keep in mind, this is not a $70,000 or $80,000 vehicle. This is a $35,000 to $45,000 vehicle. So very impressive technology. And as you can see, handles well, very comfortable seating, all 3 rows. We experienced them all. Not so sure about some of the color choices. They seem to have fallen in love with this kind of green moss color. It really looks different depending on which kind of light you have, but it does give it a premium look. We prefer some of the other ones. There was a Everlast Gray that we've been driving, and that'd be more the way I would go. Not a big fan of the white, but again, these are minor things that will be up to you and your personal preference. All I know is that Kia's got a winner on their hands, and I predict this is going to be a hot seller. East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, you name it. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter where you live, what your socioeconomic status is. If the car looks good, if it drives well, it has all the right features, safety features, etc., you're going to go with it. Speaking of safety features, the adaptive cruise control is brilliant, but you also have this great lane keep assist, and I'm impressed by how long you can actually go without having to put your hands on the steering wheel. we did it for usually about 10-15 seconds, and this thing is going to scream at you. Not so much. Okay, so that took about 20 seconds, but earlier it was a straighter road. We're able to drive longer. This is getting there, the next autonomous step, so stay tuned. I see more coming from Kia. I talked to a lot of friends and family members about what car should I get next, and if they're going to ask me about an 8-passenger or 7-passenger midsize crossover, this is easily going to be on the top of the list. When you look at the value proposition, it's really second to none. You've got some great technology in this vehicle, as we demonstrated on our drive, and I think it looks great. I mean, this is a vehicle that's really going to stand out. Usually design goes with price, but not in this case. You've got a really affordable price and some really awesome design. In fact, one of the journalists already bought one of these before the program even hit. So that shows you just what an important vehicle and what a great value proposition the Telluride is. I'm Ron Doran. Thanks for watching. See you next time on The Driver's Seat.